Hello everybody, my name is Rami Abuzanni, and I decided to do my presentation on music. The reason I decided to do my presentation on music is because myself, I have grown up to play piano, guitar, and I truly believe that the music that I listened to growing up has really characterized who I am today. On that note, music has really taken a negative turn. And I mean, not just recently, but it kind of always has. So I'm going to just further elaborate upon this throughout the presentation. So I want to talk about my title, Deeper Than Lyrics. So the lyrics that we see today, whether it's vulgar, regards to criminal activity, domestic violence against women, we have seen these lyrics to be normal, part of our hegemony, part of our normalcy. And because of that, artists continue to go on with making more songs and with these topics of, like I said, domestic violence and criminal activity, gang stuff, and it's because we let it go. So the lyrics at face value are normal, however, there are deeper meanings to it that we really need to discuss. So I want to talk about the male code. The male code we're all familiar with throughout the semester. The male code is argued to maintain male dominance and encourage, all of this, to objectify women, to look at them as a possession, that because you are partnered with them, married to them, or whatever the case may be in a relationship at all, that because you are a man, you must show dominance, that you must show that you are alpha, that you are assertive and disciplinary. I decided to take these three factors of the six of the male code because I truly believe that they are good supporting evidence towards my argument. So, if you own it, you can hurt it, but no one else can. Now, reading this, you don't really have to be a genius to know that this is really not right. Just because you identify as a man or, you biologically think you are a man or whatever the case may be, because you are of this gender, does not give you a right to, to contract violence and hurt your partner or anyone of your family or anyone you're close to or anyone for that matter. Just because you own it does not mean you can hurt it. Now, I just want to skip the second one, go to the third one. Access will be excused if the rational is upheld. So, rational is just the word. How everyone interprets it is different, especially back in older times. World War I, World War II. We saw in the propaganda that women were supposed to be, they were supposed to listen to their man, they were supposed to please him, they were supposed to, be there, do all the housework, essentially just be a maid, be there for the men. And back then it was seen to be rational. And when men would hit their women because, and I'm not joking, you want to go search this up, you can for yourself. Sometimes they would hit the women for, their coffee wasn't fresh enough. There's propaganda regarding exactly that situation, that scenario. You can go look for it for yourself. So yeah, just to basically sum up that last point, that, the rational is seen differently. Men think that what they are doing is rational, therefore, being excused, their actions being excused. Now, a really big one that we did talk about throughout the semester was gender role socialization. Now, these two little quotes that I put down below, men are supposed to be like this, women are supposed to be like that. Now, I know that sounds incredibly dumb. It sounds like, Rami, this sounds like something a little kid wrote. Men are supposed to be like this, women are supposed to be like that. It should be a little bit more professional. But no. I made them sound dumb on purpose because the principle or the concept behind them is stupid. Men are supposed to be like this and women are supposed to be like that. This is a very toxic mentality that we've grown up to bear, that we've grown up to, hold dear into our heads. Like it's supposed to be our quote unquote perspective according to old style teachings. Men are supposed to be assertive, dominant, not show weakness, never cry, women are supposed to be girly, blah, 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 all this garbage. So I'll further elaborate upon what I mean. Here's the chart, kind of what I already talked about, the aggressive, the assertive, the men call the shots, the women do as you're told, housework, please your men. Now, I want to not really sidetrack it is still in relation to the topic we were talking upon, but what you teach the youth from a super, super young age is absorbed like a sponge. And even in their later youth years, like maybe 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, they're still learning, they're still absorbing that information. So if we teach kids from a young age that the girls and the boys, that you're supposed to be like this and you're supposed to be like that, it's going to be incredibly hard. It's going to be incredibly hard to change their perspective in later years. Like, for example, what we're doing right now is that we're moving in a positive direction as a society in terms of saying, hey, you can be who you want to be. You can do what you want to do. Instead of doing what you're expected of, do as you wish, And yes, we are moving in that positive direction. However, like I said before, because of what we're taught at a younger age, not everyone is accepting of it. Especially third world countries. Like, they still believe that the man is supposed to do everything. The man calls the shots. And the women are supposed to just be, the maid and supposed to be the listener. Like, this mentality, unfortunately, is going to stick around for a while. As far as when it's going to change, I don't know. I'm not sure anybody really knows. But like I said, within our societal structure here in North America, yes, we're taking a positive step forward. But like I said, however, it is going to be hard to change the mentality of some individuals just because of what they were taught from a young age. So now, how does this reflect to music? The critical argument, the main argument. So, because, again, I'm going to talk about our upbringings and our youth mentalities, that since men are taught to be assertive in the way like the male code portrays men that are supposed to be, that has encouraged the musical industry and the artists within it to kind of create lyrics, create music, in regards to it. They talk about, criminal activity, hitting women, because they feel that it's cool, it's gangster, it's what's in, it's what people want to hear. And unfortunately, it is what people want to hear. And that's our problem. The problem is not just to be pointed. We're not supposed to be pointing our fingers just at the artists. We're supposed to be pointing fingers at the people who are condemning this, applauding this, appropriating this. We look at these lyrics and we're so desensitized by them because it's around us all the time and people are making it to be normal. Society is going the wrong way in terms of, what we consider our hegemony, our normalcy, especially in the music industry. So because of our upbringing in our youth and how we learn, people interpret, the artists interpret things differently. I'll give you a personal example. When I was growing up, I was personally said that, yes, I wasn't supposed to show weakness. I wasn't supposed to cry. But I wasn't taught that I could hit my wife if she was being disrespectful or she wasn't listening to me. I was taught that was wrong, but not everybody was. Some people were taught that, my general explanation is that everyone interprets things differently. So when I read something and you read something, we're reading the same thing, but we may take it different ways. There's two sides to a coin. So we see this in artists today. We see people like DMX, the old Eminem, they rap about their quote-unquote masculinity and how it's masculine to hurt women, this and that. And it's just because of their upbringing in the old school mentality. So I just want to talk about these lyrics that I found and these lyrics that I've known for a while. So DMX, X is coming. Here's what he sings. Trying to send that bitch back to her maker, and if you got a daughter older than 15, I'm not going to say that word, her. So this is truly disgusting. Well, one, rape is never okay. This is incredibly, incredibly inappropriate. Two, 15 years old, like, come on, man. And like, this is the problem. It's just the listeners. Some of the people like this stuff, Not everyone. I know there are people out there that understand that it's inappropriate, it's vulgar, it's just disgusting. But there are people who condemn it, applaud it, and that's the problem. We as listeners, are just as guilty. We are adding fuel to the fire by condemning these people. And here, look at the next one. By Kool G, Hey Mr. Mister. punched her in the ribcage and kicked her in the stomach. Take off all their mother effing jewelry, bitch running. I stomped her and I kicked her and I punched her in the face. Like, I already said, these kind of lyrics are disgusting, and people are condemning it, applauding it, and it's continuing to, people, they're thriving off of it, so they continue to do it. You give your pet a treat for everything that they do. You try to teach them that something is okay. Chances are, you condemn your pet, chances are they're going to do it again. Same way here, same relation here. So, just to basically sum up my presentation and wrap things up, because of how we were raised, because of things like the male code, and how gender socialization has been structured, how we're supposed to think rather than what we want to think and interpret, it's just gone the wrong way. Because of those factors, the music industry takes all those variables in, those factors. When they sing, they misinterpret things, or they interpret it a different way, and then they put it into lyrics. Hence, universally showing it to the world, and that can really influence people, especially like the youth. Like, I know kids today, really, really young kids today, that are listening to, crap like this, and they're taking it to heart. You can see it proof statistically in their Facebook statuses or social media statuses in general. Like, you can see some of them put direct lyrics quoting the artist, and it's just absolutely filthy. So if we want to take a healthy direction in terms of the music industry going the right way, we need to stop condemning, stop applauding these vulgar artists and their vulgar words. I have a sister and I have a mother, and stuff like this, reading this, really, really hurts me. Not just, and I'm going to keep my religious views and my political views out of it for the respect and professionalism of this presentation. But, because of my religion and because of my political views and my moral compass, things like this really bother me, especially because I have women in my life that I care about so much, and I'm sure you all do. So thank you so much for listening to my presentation. It's been an incredible semester. I learned so much throughout this year. I was always aware that domestic violence was a major issue. Gender issues were a big issue. But this course really kind of opened my eyes, and like my title, it went deeper than the lyrics. It was deeper than the words. We really went into great detail as to how these issues derive in the first place, what we can do to better them. And so yes, thank you so much, Mrs. Halabi, for the incredible year. Thank you so much to everyone who was listening to my presentation, and I hope you all have a great and safe summer. Thank you so very much. Goodbye.